Papers! Welcome to High Artworks. I will be your host, Sean Callahan. So, anyway, who we have this time is Elizabeth St. Hilaire.
That's me.
That is you.
That's me. I was born with that name. I've been asked at least 2, maybe 3 times if I made that up, if it was a stage name.
Really?
Yes. And I said no.
I've slept with guys who've changed their name.
Apparently people do. I
thought it was weird, but whatever.
I did a workshop and they were going to write me a check and he said, who do I make it out to? And I said, me, Elizabeth St. Hilaire. And he said, is that your real name?
What did he think? It was your porn name?
I guess so. Clearly.
So, Elizabeth is our featured artist this month. And she actually came to the opening, and we had the opening, and she taught 2 workshops this weekend, so we've been working really hard. And I asked her to do High Artworks with me. So her drug of choice, which we're going to have to talk about.
We're going to have to talk about it, seriously.
You're going to have to make the calls. But
okay.
So is Van Gogh. Tell them what your real drug of choice is.
My real drug of choice is the Van Gogh Double Espresso Vodka. However, Publix has decided for us that we can only have this or plain. Now, chocolate is good, but double espresso is better. And they make about 15 different flavors, but Publix has decided that our only choices are 2, plain or this. And we haven't even gotten into the new logo
now remember,
label.
We got to keep this under an hour, so you want to move on as quickly as possible. However,
I don't like that label.
She doesn't like the label. I don't really care. Cheers. It tastes really good.
It tastes excellent.
And thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
High Artworks.
Aren't these fancy cups?
And I've kind of added my little drug of choice.
I think when you chin, you have to sip. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Elizabeth always brings me cookies.
Dark chocolate mint chip dusted in powdered sugar cookies.
That's the snack of choice. Now.
I'm glad we have a snack of choice.
I don't know. Because you always, in case you get the munchies.
Right. And then we have water of choice that's going to make us very smart.
Yeah. Anyway, smart water. Surgery cat.
Surgery cat.
So where were you born?
I was born in Boston.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you definitely knew Massachusetts, but I didn't know it was Boston.
Yes, I was born in Boston. My entire extended family lives in the Boston area, and I ended up in Western Mass in the Berkshires because my dad got transferred with his job.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought she was just from Western Massachusetts, which is beautiful. The Berkshires are amazing.
Want to know something interesting about the town I grew up in?
Go ahead.
It is called the Whip City because at one point it manufactured
Horse whips.
the world's largest amount of buggy whips in the world, including Europe. All were made in my hometown, the Whip City.
There are many people on my Facebook page that will find that fascinating.
Yes, there's still one place that manufactures the whips.
Really?
Yes, one.
How odd is that?
It's odd. It's odd. It's called Whip City
town was
Manufacturing. I don't know where those whips are going. Well, maybe I do.
All right, so, okay. Got
Moving on.
So what artist inspires you the most and why? And I know the answer to this, but I also know a lot, so I can kind of interject. Go.
Okay, so Gustav Klimt is my favorite artist. Can I show him this?
Absolutely.
Okay, how do I get that up there?
You stand up.
That. There. That's one of my newest tattoos. And so he is my favorite artist. And I found out about him when I was in college, when I was studying abroad in London. I had a friend on the program who was actually from Rhode Island School of Design. I went with Syracuse, but we did take students from other colleges. And her name was Claire, and she was from Rhode Island School of Design. And she was unique and different, and I really liked her. And she told me about the work of Gustav Klimt, how she really admired his art in the Art Nouveau era. And it got me going to the library because we had no internet. So getting out big, huge art books and just like looking at Klimt, I guess that makes us old.
It's just funny because there's some people that watch this that are going to be like,
what do you mean you had no internet?
This is so foreign concept.
We didn't have Google. I went to the library and we had art books that were sometimes this big.
Do you remember Microfiche? And then you'd be like, fuck, just get to the...
And it was like, black.
And then you go too far and you'd be like, oh. microfiche. I never liked you.
Yeah, no. I did like sitting in the library looking at art books, though.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Art books are great. They are just inspiration. Whenever I'm like empty or I can't come up with something, I look at Andrew Wyeth or John Singer Sargent. You know, you go to your go-tos and you feel like, okay, yeah, I got it. I'm all right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, Klimt is my favorite, but I also really love the work of Van Gogh and the Impressionists.
Yeah.
Art Nouveau is my favorite, but Impressionism would be my
And we're
second.
drinking Van Gogh
And we're drinking Van Gogh.
in Moscow Mule cups
Moscow.
because I don't have what are they called?
On the rocks glasses.
Well.
Well.
Aunt Ginny gave me these. Thank you, Aunt Ginny.
Thank you, Aunt Ginny.
You met Aunt Ginny.
I did. I like these glasses. But yeah, so I like the Van Gogh vodka because I loved the packaging.
No, we're past that.
They used to have his signature on it.
Okay, so
We're
anyway.
moving on.
Yeah, we're not working on this. We're not a vodka commercial.
All right,
All right, so do you have a favorite painting by another artist? If you could ask them a question, what would it be? A favorite painting of your own work and why? So let's take this in little pieces.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot.
Why couldn't
It's a
I
lot.
be prepared in advance with some of these
Because
questions?
then it's all becomes fake.
Fake news.
So, which one? So you're kind of, like you're saying, Klimt is my favorite. So what about Klimt? Which is your favorite painting of Klimt?
That's a good question. Probably not the ones that he's most known for, like The Kiss.
Yeah. The woman in gold.
Yeah, The Woman in Gold. I've seen that one several times, and it's amazing. It's incredible. And the story is great. And I saw it the first time in Vienna, Austria, before the Austrian government gave it over to Maria Altmann.
That was kind of fucked up.
So then she sold it to Ronald Lauder. So I saw it in 1990 in Vienna, and then I saw it like 3 years ago in New York City.
I got to go to Vienna with my parents when I was younger. And all anyone ever talked about was the Vienna, like the pastries were going to be delicious. No.
No?
No. And I ate at several of them. Our Danishes could kick your ass. Bring it.
Really?
Yeah. If we're going to have a pastry competition, bring it, Vienna. Because we got you.
What about Vienna Fingers? Did you have any of those?
I don't remember. What's a finger?
You know,
Is that
Vienna
dirty?
Fingers. Vienna Fingers.
Don't show the people.
They're those long, they're shaped like this and they're vanilla.
Is there stuff inside of them?
A little bit, like an Oreo.
Yeah,
but
it's
they're
like a
vanilla,
sandwich.
Like a sandwich and
Yeah,
it's long.
that
It's
shit's
called
gross.
a Vienna Finger.
Yeah, that's the problem with Vienna. It's all dry.
Dry.
Your desserts are so dry, I'm thirsty just talking about it.
Yeah.
So, pick something else to be well known for, because I know for a fact that ain't true.
Not Vienna Fingers.
Or any pastry.
Right. Okay. So
Okay.
the painting.
Oh, yeah. So, what is the painting?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I have books and books and books of them. But I would say that he had a style that was inspired by Japanese vase painting. And he had all these high patterned backgrounds. And he did portraits of women. And their dress would sort of morph and meld into the background. So the background pattern would come into the dress and the dress would go into the background pattern. And they became part of the background, which I thought was really cool. And he did a lot of women's portraits that way.
Which are breathtaking.
Yeah.
We both share a love of Klimt.
Yes.
And so what you just described as his work actually is how I would describe yours.
Really?
Yeah, you're a collage artist, and you take pieces, and you take color, and you move them, and
And I had a gold phase.
so you're obviously I see him. You have your own voice, but you definitely have this Klimt like flair.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Palette.
I mean, it probably influences. I'm always looking at his work and recognizing the patterns and color palettes in other people's work. And I certainly see it every opportunity I can. My daughter goes to school in Manhattan, so I can go to some of the most amazing art museums in New York City, and I can. I've seen Klimt there, every time I go to visit, and I was lucky enough to go out to San Francisco to the Legion of Honor Museum for a big, huge Klimt exhibit in January of this past year.
I did not have children.
Right.
So I'm not going to New York.
Right.
Unless I go because I want to.
Right. Well, I
And
want.
that's okay.
Yeah, I go because because I want to. And
but I know her daughter, and I love her, and
Yeah.
she's so freaking talented. It freaks me out. She's a dancer.
She's a dancer. She's
Yeah.
going to college for a BFA in dance, and she lets me crash on her couch floor roll-out mattress thing. So
I might come visit you.
you should.
Come.
She would totally have you.
I know she would.
Yeah.
We come. She and I are tight.
I
Okay.
know.
Jesus. All right. What's next? All right. Where did you see your work heading? Oh wait.
Did I answer
Just
that big long question?
So professional.
Yeah. Where did you have that?
Oh no! Wait a
memorized?
minute. That was kind of a many-flavored. A favorite painting of your own work and why? Do you have a
My
favorite painting?
own work. Yes.
I have a theory about this.
I've done a lot of work. I've painted a lot of paintings. Like
This woman has more energy. She paints like 5 artists. And actually, I'm going to steer this interview a little bit right now. She works all the time.
I do.
Day, night. She's either painting, she's teaching, she's writing about it. She's got books. And she paints on airplanes and in airports and trains and cars. And no,
It's true.
she's got 2 children. And she's basically kind of running the show for them, helping them. And she works her ass off. Never,
if you drive, I can paint in the passenger seat.
but I also want to add something that's kind of emotional. It's kind of, it just absolutely is. And it's affected your life and your motivation and everything. Is she... do you want to tell the story about being on? She was in Scotland or England with your classmates.
London. I was in
London.
London, yeah.
And the Heathrow plane that blew up, she was supposed to be on that plane. All of her friends were. She changed her plans at the last minute, and all her friends died in that plane. And that has motivated her and driven her to what you do. And I absolutely get that. I understand it for different reasons, my reasons. But you are driven to this.
Well, yeah, I felt like I was given a second chance and an opportunity to have more time in my life. And
I need a cheers on that one.
Right?
There we go.
And I've been forever grateful that I escaped that. And so I felt like I owed it to them and myself to make the absolute most I could out of the gift of my life.
What you said to me years ago, we've known each other 12 years. I took her first workshop in Georgia.
I didn't even know what I was doing.
I drove from New Mexico, stopped and took her workshop, and then from there, Georgia. We're in Georgia? Yeah. And then I drove from there to here. And once you get here, it's
never
like
going
Hotel
anywhere.
California.
Yeah. You can come, but you can check in, but you can never leave.
Yeah. So
No.
you have to come visit.
Yeah. Which I do.
And she does.
Every year.
So anyway,
That's cold.
how could you be cold?
No, that cup is cold.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
No, I'm not cold.
our temperatures are the opposite.
Right.
Okay, so we really didn't answer anything. Favorite painting of your own. And I'm gonna, because I said this before. I have a theory about this, but then I was gonna let you say something, but you didn't say it really.
Oh, well, favorite painting of my own. Okay, so I've done a lot of work. That's where we got on this tangent. I've done a lot of work, and I have an art licensing agent who I don't give all of my images to, but I give a significant portion of my images to him to have reproduced on canvas or products. So I can tell you that my art licensing agent has 1,300 images of my work, but I don't give him everything. So I probably give him 90% of what I paint for him to consider. So I've given him 1,300 images to consider, but I've definitely painted more than that. So it's a lot. So when you ask me about my favorite painting, probably 2 come to mind. One that I did really recently that was an Art Nouveau, because that's my favorite, Art Nouveau themed piece that I did for the Leitner Museum in St. Augustine for their fundraiser. And it was inspired by Mucha, Alphonse Mucha. It's a portrait of a woman, and she has a big gold metallic halo behind her head, and then maps of St. Augustine in the background and sea grapes at the bottom.
Cool.
And she's a very Art Nouveau look.
I
to
saw
her.
that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and she's the charcoal drawings. So I did that recently, and it's in my living room, and I almost don't want to sell it. You know?
You're having like an affair with it right now.
Right. Yes, I'm having an affair with it right now. Eventually, I might let it go.
You'll let it go, but you're having an affair. It's okay.
Yeah.
We have affairs.
Yeah. So, and then there was a cow that I did a long time ago, like a black and white dairy cow at night in the moonlight, and the colors that were reflecting on the black areas of the cow from the moonlight.
You don't even have Holsteins where you live, do you?
No, but I grew up in Western Mass.
Her Holstein, I had a little hat. I once had a farm in Africa.
Africa?
No, I had a farm in Vermont.
There.
My partner and I lived on a farm in Vermont. It was his family's, I guess. I didn't know that. Anyway, we had sheep.
Ma. Oh no, that's a sheep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
sheep. For a second, I thought it was a goat, but then I'm like, I think a goat sounds the same.
Oh, so our next door neighbor had Holstein cows, and her collages of Holstein cows blow me away. Like the white variety, like just within the whites, you've got like 12 different values of white in texts and maps and old kids' homework, and it's insane. I love it.
Text and type and oxidation.
Yeah. So I took her workshop because I was following her blog when I was in New Mexico. Through a friend of mine, Anneline Buchenkamp, who's an amazing watercolor artist. She told me to start looking at her work. And I saw that she was teaching, and so I was like, I'm taking this. It was like a 3-day event.
It was a 3-day event.
And I kicked ass.
He emailed me and said he was coming. I Googled him and looked up his work, and I said, oh my God, what am I going to teach this guy? I did.
Well...
Oh, like his work
all I wanted
blew
to do
me
is
away.
I wanted to kick everyone's ass in the class. I'm very competitive.
And it was the first workshop I ever taught, so I had no idea what I was doing. And at the end of it, he said, that was great. And I said, I had no idea what I was doing. And he said, well, no one would ever know.
I don't know.
So then I never told anyone.
I ended up, that boat that I did in that class.
You sold it?
I sold it to a guy, a guy in Las Vegas on Holland America.
Pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. He was a doctor. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a long time.
I know.
Oh, so the cow, favorite painting, the reason why I didn't get to have a
Just one of your favorite paintings right now?
Well, it's an old one that I did quite a long time ago, but it sticks in my mind because I didn't...
Did you have that on licensing? Because I saw it in a shop in Waitsfield, Vermont.
Yeah, probably.
I saw your name on it, and I'm like...
I know. People look me up that way. But anyway, the reason why I still think about it is because I didn't have an affair with it. I finished it for a show right before the deadline. Which was in Gloucester. Packed it up, sent it up to Gloucester, Mass, and they sold it. They sold it like immediately, and so I never got to have a love affair with it. It was like done and wrapped and shipped and then sold.
You didn't even get to sleep with it.
No, so I'm still thinking about that cow. I don't even paint cows anymore, but that particular...
That was a good cow.
It was a good cow. That one and the Art Nouveau lady that is as of late because it's fresh in my mind.
I don't know. Like right now, I would say the paintings for me are right over there. You guys don't get to see it. And it's because I just finished them.
And what you're doing now, yeah.
And they're the different medium and...
Acrylic.
So for me, I think it's the best work within a body of work I'm working on.
Right.
And it may not be the best work, but it's one. I think it's the best work for me because something broke through.
Right. Yeah, you have a personal connection to it, and that makes it really important. I mean, I have a piece like that in my bedroom that I've showed once, but I'll never sell it, and it's just me working through some crap. You know. Yeah. And it's my art therapy, and I don't ever want to get rid of it. And it's big. It's like big.
I have one painting.
48.
I have the painting of my mother, with her hands over her face. And it's
Isn't it up there?
Yeah, it's right up
there.
She's always in the gallery. Yeah, I did that portrait while she was dying of cancer, and she kept smiling like everybody smiles when their photographs being taken. And I asked her to I didn't want you to smile, and so I just said, put your hands over your face. And she said, my hands are so ugly. And I said, Mom, your hands gave birth to 10 children, and none of us are in jail yet.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Or anymore.
So she let me do it. And it's called These Beautiful Hands. I'll post it underneath this interview.
It's right up there. It's one of my favorite pieces as well.
And you can't have it.
No.
I did sell my dad, by the way. I did one of him too.
You sold your dad? Well,
Yeah.
here's to that.
Yeah, for full price. And
Full
it's
price.
hanging in Normandy, France.
Wow.
And
ironically, he was there.
Yeah, World War II, he landed at Normandy Beach 3 times.
That's crazy. He might be happy about being there.
I don't know. He never told me. I called him and told him I sold him. I sold him before he died.
What did he say?
He laughed. He goes, good job. My dad was all about the sale.
Yes, he was.
Ugh.
Yep.
Did you ever meet him? Did you get to meet him?
Nope, but I've heard a lot of good stories about him. Both of your parents. And your siblings. And we FaceTimed 2 sisters the other day.
Let's reel that in a little bit.
Why?
Some of my siblings
Some of them what?
are good.
Oh, he says good things about some of them. There's so many of them that he can say good things about a
10.
significant portion of them.
We're down
and
to
it
8.
Seems like all of them.
And 2 of them are evil.
2
But
are
that's
evil.
a different show.
I have 1 evil sibling, and I'm the oldest of 5.
You are. This is interesting because she's the oldest and I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
And this is another theory I have. The oldest child is kind of experimental to parents. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what you're doing?
No.
Should we do this? Should we do that? I don't know. Like, don't touch anything. You know, everything's, my God, we got to keep this thing alive.
Yep.
And then
You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything.
Right. And
you
then
can't
when you're like a high
be
school
out of our
kid,
sight. You can't hang out at night. You have to be home by 10 o'clock when you're a senior in high school. Yeah.
It's oppression,
Yeah.
I would say.
It was
To
complete
be
oppression.
the first child it's an oppressive experience.
And then if they put a whole bunch of years, like 17 of them, between you and your youngest sibling, then you're an indentured servant babysitter to your infant brother when you're 17.
All right, so I was the
Oh, the
youngest
whole
of
nother
10, and so I have sisters that are, I'm 53, I
Oh.
have a sister that's 70-something, Sissy.
Same deal.
Sissy, but she's a terrible kid.
Sissy wanted a t-shirt
No,
when he
she's
was
not.
a baby that said, he's my brother. Because we got dirty looks from little old ladies thinking that we were 17 years old and this little brother was our kid. Because there's a family resemblance and you're pushing a stroller.
That's so
and I wanted
funny.
a t-shirt that said, he's my brother.
I love that. I love that because we are so judgmental. And remember I told you today, like the chickens are having their babies now. So all over town, you're seeing these hens with these little tiny babies. They're like this big. They have 12. So it's not really a common, like at least once, maybe 3 times on the way from my apartment to here, I run, there's a mother running with little kids.
Cute.
And,
Cute,
and they're
adorable.
literally this big. And, within a week, most of them are down to 1. And I'm not going to lie, as I'm driving, I'm thinking, you are a terrible mother.
He's not just thinking it. He's yelling it out the window at the chickens. You're a terrible mother.
I did not yell
He's
it.
horrible.
I said it.
Stops at the stop sign, rolls down the window to yell at the chicken.
Well, if they're this little, that
And
means...
they run. They scatter.
Wait a minute. If they're this little, she had it yesterday,
And it's
she's
gone.
down to fucking 1.
Well, it probably got eaten by a cat.
But you're down to 1, and it's a day-old chicken.
Come on. A child
I know
is
it's
18
rough.
years of putting someone else's needs in front of you. I mean, she's probably evaluating the situation and panicking.
All I'm saying is, Mom, thank you. You kept 10 people alive.
Right?
And my dad, thank you. You worked your ass off. But he was like in the Mad Men show. Like
He was in the show?
No. He lived it. He lived it. He was one of those guys. He wasn't an ad man. He was a businessman.
What did he sell? Sunscreen?
Chemicals.
Chemicals. Yard chemicals?
I'm not going to say the name
Fire
of the
ant
company
granules?
because it's my uncle's company and I should not speak of it.
Well, unless he's going to write you a check, you cannot be endorsing his product
There's
for
no
free
check,
on
and
this highly viewed
I
interview.
wouldn't take a check, nor do I expect a check, and I'm happy for them, all that stuff. But it's not
Here's
a
the
fun-
chemicals.
Yeah, but anyway. So, you see what you do? I had a good riff going there, and now I forget. Oh. What brought you to Key West? I brought her to Key West.
He brought me to Key West. The first time and every other damn time.
So,
and when my kids are in Key West with their dad.
You're jumping way too far. All right, so I take her workshop, and of course, we're going to be friends, you know?
Right.
As soon as I saw her, I'm like, yeah, this is forever.
Yeah, forever.
Which it is.
We look so young in those photos.
Oh my God. There's a progression of photographs of us, but it's just like,
growing
oh
old.
Shit, we look like we're 10.
Yeah, 12 years ago, clearly.
So it's been fun.
Oh.
Actually, really has been.
Yes, it has been.
I love you.
I love you more.
So, anyway, I brought her here.
Yes, he brought me here.
Because I helped Elizabeth. I get you and Melissa's name mixed up.
You said Elizabeth.
All the time. Guess who else does?
Oh.
I'm going to dime on him right here.
Who?
Right now.
Who?
Chuck Seaman.
Chuck Seaman calls me what?
Melissa.
How dare you?
We get you both.
Is he watching this?
Well, it's like dyslexia. You're not the same person in any way. You're totally different. But we get your names mixed up. So, I was going to say something about Melissa.
You brought me down to be in Melissa's gallery.
Oh, yeah. So I
finish his sentences like married people. His thoughts.
If you're married to me, I feel sorry for you.
Right? Chin chin. Here's to that.
Don't ever.
Here's to that. Celibate marriages.
Girl, I've been married twice.
Not getting married again, though.
Nothing happened.
No.
I mean, nothing, well, yes, whatever.
We all make mistakes.
Hmm.
Once. Twice.
But we learn from them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So we grow from it.
This is a cool avenue. This is what I love about this. We can talk whatever we want.
Right.
So, I have a theory about artists and relationships.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've been into... Well, I've been married twice, and so my whole life I've been in like 4 long-term relationships, and I used to be, I guess, this relationship person.
You know what they call that?
What?
Serial monogamy.
Yeah.
Someone that goes
You
from
have to have somebody with you or something.
a very dedicated, totally one person dedicated relationship, and then to another. Not a lot of dating in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, actually... I got out of the second marriage. I ride the bus, you ride the bus, we all ride the bus.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then, actually, I went out to dinner with you and Chuck Seaman, who's here in town.
And watching.
I think Melissa was there as well, maybe? No?
Yes.
Is there, Grant, can I have some paper towel?
Paper
My
towel.
beard, when I drink, gets all wet.
Well, we don't want that.
No. There we go. So, we're having dinner at Santiago Bodega.
Yeah, so good.
Which is on Petronia Street here. It's my favorite restaurant if you ever want to get me a gift card or anything.
Yeah, gift cards are great.
Anyway, and if you do come to Key West, you want to go there because it's incredible.
When is your birthday?
Oh, here we go. Is that what I'm going to get? That's how creative you're going to get up for my birthday? You're just going to throw me a gift card?
Okay, I'll just send it to you when I go home then, for no reason.
No.
Just curious.
Now I never want a gift card from there,
Oh my
okay?
God, he's
That's off
such
your
a
list.
girl.
You just blew it.
All right, then I'll send you cash that says, use this at Santiago's.
No. I want thought, and I want it to be a great gift.
Okay. I'm going to figure out how to buy back that portrait of your dad.
It's somewhere in France. I don't know.
I'm going to go look for it.
I want to go.
So what happened when we were at dinner?
Where?
With Chuck and Melissa here. That thought that you were thinking about? We went to dinner. We all went to dinner together. There was something about relationships and...
Oh, yeah. So you said, you know what? You need to spend time with yourself.
Yes, yourself.
And all of them went, you do.
You do.
And guess what? They were right.
Mm-hmm.
And but I have a theory about that. Okay. So I have spent time with myself, like since that dinner. So, for you people out there that are like that's happening right now where you're leaving a relationship and that shit's over. It's absolutely like the best thing you could do is spend time with yourself.
Learn how to make yourself happy. Learn how to make yourself happy and not have to hang that on someone else.
Yeah. And that really helped me. Like I spent my first half of my life alone and in the closet and then I went from relationship to relationship.
Was it crowded in the closet? Were there a lot of clothes and shoes? Because if you were in my closet, you'd have no room.
God, I barely remember the closet in my bedroom as a kid.
That's good. That's good.
I had a good childhood.
We're watching The Handmaiden. She's spending a lot of time in the closet, scratching on, carving things into the walls. I thought it was some Victorian old British show. I was like, I don't want to watch any Victorian collar handmaiden show.
I was like,
then,
girl, that ain't it.
Turns out to be really some crazy shit, and I'm not happy at all.
We watched it for 2 nights.
He says that our whole country is going this way. He says it's going to happen, and right? I'm not wearing that outfit.
Yeah, well, what do you think's going to happen to me?
Well, anyway, I'm not fertile anymore anyway, so that means I don't get the red outfit with the hat. I have to wear the green dress. Do you think I'm going
to be living in the big house?
The power dress. I can't spit out any more kids.
Girl, I'm going to be on the wall in probably 2 days. Yeah. Jesus Christ, and you're worried.
Yeah, with the pink triangle with the bag over his head.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to be wearing the green power dress.
That's the only time I would have wished I could get pregnant.
Or wear a green dress.
No, I don't like that green. It's like this teal green. I don't like it.
Yeah, but you don't have to get pregnant when you wear that dress.
No, you can't get pregnant when you wear that dress.
But why can't get pregnant? So I'm wearing that dress. I don't have to wear that white hat.
Yeah, well, you got to be born into that dress, girl.
At this point, I can't fit into that dress.
Well, you might be born into that.
This holiday ass is not getting in that dress.
I don't look good in teal anyway.
I do. Look at all this red hair.
We're getting way off topic.
I look Irish in their green dress.
This is not about that show. Anyway.
I had my DNA tested, and I am Irish.
Yeah.
A 78% Irish and English. So that's why we get along.
You know, when she told me that, it brought up a red flag because my sister had it done, and she was 87%, or did you say 78 or 87?
78.
No, 87% Irish and the rest Viking.
Viking. He likes the Viking.
Did you ever doubt that?
No, we never doubted that.
Exactly.
He went in the freezing cold water at the beach this afternoon, and you could clearly see the Viking in him.
Damn right.
He was in it.
Yeah.
Dove under and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that happened.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Your most creative time period.
Oh, I'm skipping all over the fuck.
Oh, okay.
Watch your mouth, potty mouth. All right, what is your most creative time period to date and why?
Like, what is my most creative time of the day?
I have one job.
Or what year was my most
creative? And
creative?
I can't do that right.
You wrote them.
It's their drug of choice. This is not my fault. Well,
right.
Actually, my drug of choice was medicinal marijuana, and
right.
That was my drug of choice, plus I'm sharing her drug of choice.
Right, so that's a whole, you know, and then we had more previous, we had Rose Kennedy's at the shrimp place.
That's true, we did.
So it's a lot of stuff together.
Which are half off from 4 to 6.
Half off is a good deal. Right?
Alonzo's,
yes.
Okay.
All right, so my most creative time period, like years, like at a time period of my life.
Do you have like OCD?
Or during the day?
Is it OCD?
No, I'm just bossy.
No, you're not. You're like bossy. You have.
I'm trying to run this to make sure we get all the.
Okay, we're only at 33 minutes. Okay. Not bad. Okay, excuse me. So, what was your most creative time?
Well, I'm asking you. Do you mean in my life?
That was like Chinese food.
Oh,
yeah.
That was from 3 days ago.
Jesus Christ. No, it's last night, Time Warp.
Oh, yeah, Time Warp. I don't even know what day it is. I never know what day it is. And I saw this...
Why is that? Because you live your life in paintings.
Well, I saw this scientific documentary about this guy that knew everything about time, the passage of time. He was like a time space cadet engineer.
He's a time traveler.
He was amazing. He had all kinds of degrees and whatever. He was on this documentary. And anyway...
Could he fly?
No, but what he said justified why I never know what day it is. He said that the human brain has no ability to keep track of the passage of time unless something changes. So like when you see the sun come up and the sun goes down, you know that's a day because you see that something changes, right? My one day to the next does not change. I work, I sleep, I get up, I work, I sleep. I don't wait for Friday because I work on the weekends. So without the change of, punching the clock Monday to Friday, I never know what day it is.
It is funny. I don't remember either.
Never know what day it is.
If people are like, have a good weekend, and in my head, you have to just go, you too.
And I'm like,
but
is
I'm
it Friday?
Girlfriend, I'm working.
I'm working on the weekend.
There is no Friday night here.
No. Well, I teach workshops in my technique, and most of the time they're over the weekend. So I work more weekends than not.
And this place, I paint here on weekends.
So we don't ever know what day it is.
So that button on your shirt.
So the most creative time period then is now. Probably now.
Really?
Yeah. Because there's nothing like a deadline to motivate you or the need to support yourself. So I do a lot of work, and I'm learning a lot because I'm practicing a lot. So all that work that I'm doing, I'm learning, I'm getting better, and I'm excited about that. And I'm experimenting with different medias and incorporating new things with my work. And then I was trained by Golden Paints this year, so I'm trying new products.
5 seconds for love.
Lots.
Golden Paints.
Golden Paints. Love. I think I'm going to get a golden... I should get it tattooed right here.
I met him.
The logo.
I met him once, I told you.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so this is a really quick story. I think it's funny.
Okay.
He came to an opening. I think it was mine, but you know what? The more I think about it, I think it was a Lisa Gore's show, who does amazing landscapes, and we had her do a show at Stone Soup here in Key West. And he came to it with his wife, and he looks like a bear. Very handsome man. Mm-hmm. And I was managing the gallery in a way. I was just kind of helping do stuff. And I went right over and started cruising him.
Imagine that.
Then his wife came over, and I was like... But a year later, he handed me his card and said, if you ever need anything, let me know. And I looked at the card, and it's like this CEO of Golden Paints. I'm
Mark.
Like, oh,
Mark
shit.
Golden?
Yeah.
No.
He's
the son, right? Or the grandson?
I don't know. Didn't ask him. But a year goes by, and I had his card, and so I did start teaching watercolor to people living in a building with HIV, people living with HIV and AIDS. And I wrote letters to all these companies for help, and nobody responded. And I made one phone call to him, and he and his wife drove a 4x6 trailer down filled with art supplies. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're a great company.
Golden Paint.
Golden Paint.
Thank you. You may carry on.
Yes. Well, so all of that makes me feel like I'm right now in the most creative time period.
The reason I questioned you like that was because I follow you.
Yeah.
And my first thought was a million different paintings coming out every day.
Yeah.
And that's really not what I asked you.
Right.
Your most creative time, you are in your most creative time because you're experimenting.
Yeah, I'm experimenting, and the practice. I mean, the more painting, and I'm working, and the more painting, the more practicing and experimenting you do, the more creative you get.
And it shows in your work.
Thanks. Well, I love Klimt, and I've been wanting to do a triptych. I want to do. I named my daughter after Klimt's lifelong companion, Emily Flogue. So my daughter's name is spelled French with the IE, and I specifically named her after Emily Flogue because I love Klimt so much. So what I've been wanting to do this for years. I want to do a portrait of her. She was a fashion designer, so she's in all these beautiful, wonderful designed outfits in the old photos.
That's her? I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to do a portrait of her and a portrait of him, and then in the middle of the triptych, I want to do a portrait of the two of them together. So there'll be two narrow side panels, each with one, and then in the square middle panel, I'll have the two of them together. So I've got a book of old photos, rare photos of them. It's called Gustave and Emily. And I've chosen the photos, and I ordered the boards, and I think the side ones are 24 by 36, and the center one is 36 by 36. And it'll be one of those pieces I'll never want to sell, and I've always wanted to paint it. And I just ordered the boards. So when I go back, I'm going to prime them and start working on my opus.
Awesome.
Yeah, just for me. Just for me. I mean, I would sell it, but I'm not going to actively market selling it. Like it's just something I want to do for myself.
You're about to have an affair.
Yeah, I'm about to have an affair, and I'm going to keep it for a while. And I'm so excited about it that I think I have so much passion for it that I think it's going to be a great piece. And I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay. Where are we at? That's upside down.
Okay.
What would you like people to remember about your artwork?
What I would like people to remember is that what I do is a collage process of hand-painted paper, which is something that I did not learn in college, and I did not learn from anyone else. I kind of experimented and evolved with this unique process, and I think that that's, I mean, I can't say that no one else does collage, but I think where I've come to has been totally like through my own creativity, and I think it's a pretty unique medium, at least how I use it.
Girl, when I saw your work, it was in Vermont, didn't know who you were, and my friend Annaline said, check this out, and I signed up and followed you from that day, and I was like, holy crap, whoever this person is, they are doing something new.
Yeah, doing something new and different, and you know, back when I started this, when you would enter a juried show, and there would be all the categories, and there would be 2 asterisks at the bottom of the application, and it would say, number 1, no mixed media, and number 2, no photography. So 10 years ago, it had to be traditional medium, and not photography, and not digital. I mean, you know, it was all that. Mixed media was like poo-pooed. Now we have the National Collage Society, we have mixed media magazines, mixed media has its own category in juried shows. But when I started, it really didn't.
No.
So,
I remember thinking, whoever this is something
something
new.
different.
That's why I stopped in Georgia and took a workshop. I was like, I need to figure this out.
Yeah,
I want to figure out what you're doing. And I remember saying to you, I want to figure out what you're doing so that I can apply it to watercolor.
Right.
And I did.
You
I
did?
came down here and I did apply it to watercolor. I do it once in a while now.
Every once in a while.
You represent the best. You don't do it. I don't have to do it. I'm doing my own thing.
I wouldn't try to do watercolor in front of him.
Girls, you can do it probably better than me.
Nah.
Anyway.
Skipping
all kinds of questions. I love wherever we land. How does a painting start for you? What's your process in a painting? Like we just talked about the Klimt one. What brought you to the idea of her and him?
Well, because I really like him. You know, he's been my favorite. So I read and learned about him and learned about his relationship with Emily Flogue and saw these cute pictures of them out on the Attersea Lake in the boat together. He's painting and she's paddling, and just saw some pictures of them together and thought, you know, it was kind of a neat relationship, their relationship. And I feel like they influence each other because you could see the patterns from her fashion design appearing on the dresses of the models of the women that he painted and in some of his backgrounds. So I think they influenced each other. And I also admired the fact that in the 1890s, she and her sister owned their own business, their own fashion design business, and they were single women. And they had their own business in the 1890s.
Wow.
I mean, that's a big deal. So, and I think that, you know, I wanted to show her artistry, you know, with him, because I think maybe, you know, if it were to happen today, she probably would have more credit.
It's a collaboration, really.
Yeah. I mean, when you see her clothing and the patterns in his paintings, it's really neat.
I've collaborated with have you ever collaborated with another artist?
Yes. Yes.
And it's interesting.
I did an interesting show with another artist where we worked from the same reference photos, and she worked in soft pastel and I worked in collage mixed media, and we displayed our take on the same reference photo in the same size next to each other, which was kind of neat.
Cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And we worked separately of each other, so we didn't see what each other was doing, but we worked from the same reference photo in the same size. So.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it was neat. It was really neat.
I love doing a show based, someone sends you just one word. This is what the show is.
Yeah.
And then you have to come up with a painting what that word means to you. It's and then you get 20 artists doing that, and you just have this amazing show of crazy.
Well, you get 20 you give 20 artists the same project or the same word, and you get 20 totally different things in return. So that's what's amazing about creativity is that it's endless, you know.
And depending on the artist and the show, I'm just saying.
Right.
Shit could get real. Because we're competitive.
Right.
You know? So
you're competitive.
Well, I am not denying that. I own that straight up. I can't help it. I am.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. Like I wouldn't push you off a building or
right
anything.
now.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't badmouth you. I wouldn't tell people you were a slut or any of that stuff.
I might splash water
but
on
I
your
would
work,
totally come at you with everything I had. And I love you.
Guns blazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Give me the word. Let's do this.
So my process.
Yummy.
Do you want to get back on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So my process involves I get an idea, a concept, and then I look online for reference photos.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the easy answer.
Well, I'm a graphic artist, so I use Photoshop and I combine multiple photos until I get a composition I like.
Reel it in. I get an idea. Where is that coming from? Does it come from life?
The inspiration?
Yeah, no, the thought.
The thought. Oh, I don't know.
That becomes a painting.
The space between sleep and awake. Dreamland.
That you kind of remember when you wake up. And
yeah, I get ideas in my sleep or I get inspired. I was in Mexico in November and was inspired by the Frida Kahlo imagery that I saw everywhere and was exposed to. Yeah. I mean, so I want to do a portrait of her, and I've taught in Italy for the last so many years, and I was really inspired by the landscape there, the cypress trees and the rolling hills and the big skies. So
the first time you went to Italy, Stone Soup showed some of the work from there.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah,
you had those triptych landscapes. They were beautiful.
Yeah, and poppies and sunflowers and things like that. So I think you get inspired by what you're exposed to, and I think that's why it's important for us to be visiting galleries and museums and seeing the work of other artists, whether they're masters in the museum, like when I went to see Van Gogh a couple months ago in New York, or when you come to a gallery like this and you see just what's current, you know. You get inspired by all that, you know.
Van Gogh's dead, you know.
I know,
so
but
the whole story about meeting him in New York last week.
No, I got to see the Starry Night. I went to the MoMA. I ventured out.
I saw Van Gogh's. I don't think it was called a retrospective. What does that mean again? Like
your whole life.
Oh, okay, yeah, then it was.
Yeah.
At the National Gallery in Washington D.C.
I've yet to go there.
And really?
My son goes to college almost in D.C., but he's a freshman, and so first year, all my visiting up there needed to be about him.
You're gonna flip out.
Needed to be about him, but subsequent visits will include art museum. Yeah, I know. I can't wait.
You're gonna flip out and love it.
We went. He and I went, but we went. I went to the things he wanted to see, like his American history.
That's over.
Space Museum and.
Okay, so I was on study at the National Institutes of Health for 14 years, and I was there all the time. And I used to take the metro down to the National Gallery, so I saw all kinds of shows.
Yeah, I bet.
One time I was going through chemotherapy with a fanny pack on and an IV in my arm, and I was in the National Gallery, and I started to feel sick.
Oh my God. They let you out?
Probably shouldn't have left that day.
No.
Anyway, you're going to love that. Metro takes you right there.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, so I went to that show, and they did all of his self-portraits in one room. And you see him in books your whole life, you know, and especially, you know, if you're painting and stuff, you're like looking at stuff. And you don't have a real, I mean, even if it's there, you have no real reference on how big the painting is.
No.
His self-portraits were like this big.
Well, Starry Night is like that big. It's not that big at all. Yeah. But the Van Gogh, you really have to see it in person to examine the brushwork to really get a sense of how thick and textural, and I like his work because I
And
relate
color.
to the bright color, but also the pieces, the simple shapes, and those thick brush marks to me are like my chunks of paper. And I feel as though you can get an idea of it in a book, but when you see it in person,
Different.
totally different. And then as an artist, I get 2 inches from the piece to look at the brushwork, and the guard is like, back up, you know. They don't want you licking it. Blah.
You know what's? I'm just going to be honest about this. Sometimes I feel like an asshole when I do that. But you know what? This is an opportunity. This is what I do. I want to get this close. I want to figure out what he was thinking. And even if I don't, I still want to get that close. But I always think, when somebody's behind me going, really?
Back up.
No, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I look at it that close. And then when the guards tell me to back up, I tell them I'm examining the brushwork. And they go, we don't give a shit. Back up.
Girl, I ain't touching it.
Back up. I'm not going to lick it.
Leave me alone.
It's under glass anyway.
No.
You know they put glass over all those.
Have a cookie, for Christ's sake. What's the next question?
I don't know. You're the boss.
Let's see what kind of boss I would be.
Off on a tangent, paying me for vacation.
Oh, so if you had a spiritual animal, what would it be?
Oh, a spiritual animal. Well, what I really like is a magpie.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I like a magpie. Because they gather things and from here and there and put them together and make something.
They're
and
magical.
And they get, I don't know, they steal thread and keys and tidbits. And
they make little cool nests.
yeah, and that's what I do. I put little pieces together of lots of different things. And I'm always looking at stuff like, could I put that in a collage? How would that look in a collage? Save me that napkin. Can I have that doily? Like, that kind of stuff.
It's true.
So, yeah.
Some people in America call it hoarding.
Yeah, hoarding. You could call it that, but, you know, kind of relating it to a magpie and all that whole weaving it into something beautiful, that's a little nicer.
I know. I'm only kidding.
It's all about how you brand it.
You're not a hoarder. I am a hoarder.
Oh, you're
Jesus.
not a hoarder.
Waiter!
Check, please.
So what is
Oh, another one of these.
So what's your spirit animal?
A magpie.
She did say
We
that.
just went through this.
You know where the first magpie was I ever saw?
Where?
Ireland.
Well, in Italy, the word for magpie, which I don't remember, but I remember is the translation is see it, steal it. And that's the, somebody I'm sure knows it in
I
Italian.
love that.
See it, steal it. That's the translation of whatever they call the magpie. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love magpies. They're cool.
Very cool.
In fact, the first time they're big.
Yeah, they're in the crow family.
And yeah, they're more like a raven. They're
Yeah.
like big, and they have this white chest and black wings.
Yeah.
Very formal.
Ireland.
It's like formal wear.
Yeah, like a tuxedo.
Exactly. What part of you ends up in your work, your voice, your style?
Probably my DNA.
That's such a lame question. And I wrote it.
Who wrote these questions?
Well, I wrote it.
Well, I'll tell you something about your voice and your style and artwork and so. I find I teach, my demographic is women that are about 55, 60 in my classes, and I will tell them that they will gravitate towards colors in their work that appeal to them personally. And a lot of the time when you see their finished portrait, it'll match the clothing that they're wearing, because I love teal, so I bought this shirt in teal and I worked teal into my painting. And I've had sometimes people been wearing an apron, multicolored apron, hold up the painting, same colors from the apron.
Wow.
I think your style, your sense of color.
It's very handmade style.
Yes. Your sense of color is what appeals to you in your home decor or your wardrobe. And it finds its way into your art.
Absolutely.
And your style. I mean, I have a kind of a funky style, and I think I'm not very funky at the moment. I just have my
She's
t-shirt
the
on.
coolest shoes in the
I do.
world.
I have lots of fun shoes. And I've painted my shoes, too.
Yeah. You have cool shoes.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
I like your shoes.
So, yeah. But I think it's, like, our favorite colors oftentimes end up in our work. You know?
Yeah. Okay. What else do we have?
I don't know.
I'm going off script now.
Uh-oh.
Where we
Off
at?
the reservation.
We have 2 more questions.
Against medical
because
advice.
We're running out. This can't be an hour and a half anymore.
No one will watch
I gotta
it.
keep it at an hour. So, just throw some shit out, like relationships and being an artist.
Hard.
Very hard.
Very hard because as an artist, I think art is your primary love. And
It comes first.
It comes first, and I've been told that by people that I'm second or third after art and whatever else. But yeah, art is the top, and painting is a solitary endeavor. So you can't paint with someone chit chatting with you next to the easel. You have to be alone to be creative, and since that's all we want to do, a lot of the time we're not extremely social.
Yeah, not social, not really. I don't feel open to it. I don't know.
Well, it's hard. You have to divide your time, I guess.
I can't.
Yeah. Well, the longer you don't have a person to divide your time with.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier.
And you get to have 100% art time.
Well, we were saying about relationships, spend some time with yourself, which you told me to do.
Yeah.
I had a theory, remember?
Yes.
We're getting back to it now.
Back to the theory.
If you spend too much time alone, you're never going to be with anyone.
You get past the point of no return of spending time with
why?
yourself.
Because when you get here,
you're not going to modify
You're so set in your own ways.
Set in your ways.
That you're like, no.
I'm not doing that for you.
I ain't changing my life.
No, not.
Forget it.
I do it like this,
It's
this,
not
and
worth
this.
it.
I'm not doing it like that.
I do what I want.
Right.
So this is all alone.
Yeah, after the point, this is the point of no return, and then this is alone.
But here's the thing.
And you do all this alone up to here, and then it's there. And then it's going to be you and me together.
Right. You just need, first of all, if you do get to fall in love, be grateful.
Yeah.
If you had your heart broken, be grateful. If you've broken someone's heart, don't be grateful, but remember it.
Yes, learn from it.
And if you don't get a chance to fall in love, I'm sorry.
It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Girl, don't be throwing old shit in this window.
Well,
Make up our own stuff.
I always thought that was nice.
It is, but it's old as the hills.
Well, there's a reason why people still say it.
I know, but
because it's still true.
I think, it is true, but it's deeper than that.
Yes.
I think. So, but yeah, artists, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up alone. I'm okay with that.
You might. Nah, you're not gonna. You find someone else that's another artist, and then you can be together, alone together. And then you're over here, and they're over there.
Let's talk about the partner that's jealous of you.
Yeah, there's that.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
You were married to an artist, weren't you? So was I. Well, he thought it was. Anyway, that was a mess. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color, I used to always say, was purple. I love Prince. I love Paisley. I grew up in the 80s. I used to always say it was purple. But I realized that when I am demonstrating painting collage paper for other people, I always grab the blue and the green paint.
Yep. I'm those colors.
So I really like the blue and the green. I very rarely demonstrate for people and grab the purple paint.
What's interesting is that the blue and the green are in the same spectrum.
Yes.
So you don't go blue, yellow.
No.
Which really would be...
Analogous colors. Analogous.
Analogous.
Analogous. Next to each
The
other.
analogia people.
And the purple's over there too. With the blue.
Yeah.
It's on the way to blue.
Yeah, it's all in the same kind of...
Yeah, that same quadrant.
Where complementary colors, you jump the screen and go to yellow, which would be over here.
Warm colors. So think about yellow, red,
Fire.
Orange. Those are fire. Those are opposite the water, blue, green,
Cool
purple, cool
water.
colors. Some people don't understand warm and cool colors.
You don't?
No, some people don't. I've tried to explain to people these are warm colors because they're warm. They're red, orange, yellow. That's warm. And this is cool because it's blue, green, teal. And it doesn't register, which I can't understand not understanding that. But
we have
different.
Yeah, everybody's brain, we're tapped into a part of our brain that she probably wasn't or he probably wasn't.
Yeah.
And he's got something going on in a part of our brain we don't even know exists.
Oh, yeah. I have a brother who's a mechanical engineer. I don't even know where he came from.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Apparently the same parents, but
I mean, there's all kinds of shit going on in here.
I don't know anything about math.
I'm only using 10%.
Oh, I'm using less than 10%. I don't even know my multiplication table.
Girl, you're using 85, 90%.
No, I'm
Jesus
using...
Christ. I've never met anybody who works so hard in their life.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, you do what you gotta do.
We talk on the phone, and I have to take a nap after hearing what she did because I'm so
Yeah.
tired.
Well,
All right, wait. Favorite medium's acrylic.
a collage, but acrylic.
Okay. Favorite place to paint to date. That's a good one.
That's a good one. So I've had...
They were all good.
They were all good. So I've had a studio, a freestanding studio in my backyard where I could go out and work, close the door, and go back in the house.
Remember
I've had a studio up in retail space, but on the upper level. So not too much traffic passing by, but other retailers that I could go down and visit.
When was that?
When I was in my apartment. So for
I don't remember that.
a year.
I need another napkin, though, please.
Or a year and a half. So it was someplace I had to get in the car and drive to in a retail space, which was nice. It was big and it
like
was
that.
open. It was nice. It was good.
It feels like you're going somewhere.
Yeah, I felt like I was going to work, right? Took the dogs with me and...
Although painting at home's great, too.
But the third place is home. So I went from in the backyard studio to the retail space back to home. So now I paint off my kitchen in this, I don't know, it was like a Florida sunroom or something.
It's studio.
It's a studio. It's not that big of a space, but when I was there, my son would be studying, doing his homework at the kitchen table, and even though we didn't interact, I could see him sitting there, and he didn't go in his room. He sat in the kitchen, and so we were silently together, which was nice. But also, I could multitask. I could run a little laundry, put something in the oven, put away the dishwasher, run the
I stayed
what do you
in
call
her
this
house.
thing?
I
The
stayed in her
vacuum.
house. I'm laying on the couch. You
The
just see
vacuum.
this person just going around in circles.
I don't sit on the couch. I don't even turn on the TV.
And,
It's
you
just a
know,
big black thing.
I'm stoned half the time.
Right.
So I'm just like, look at this person just going around. Even your son, remember you sat with me for a little while, and your son walked by, and he just went, first of all, I love her children. And, hi Cornelius, honey. That's from Willy Wonka. Where's he at? Oh.
He said you were sitting with me.
Yeah, she was sitting in the chair next to me, and he walked by and he just goes, congratulations, you're the only person she's ever done that for. And he walked to his room. And it's true.
It's true. I don't like to sit still.
I cannot even come close. She had 2 children, a husband, played the violin in an orchestra, was a triathlete, and was painting like this and doing workshops everywhere.
And cleaning my own bathroom.
I was like, every time I touch her,
More than one.
I'm like, Sean, you're a failure.
No.
You're a human failure.
No. No, it's a sickness. It's a sickness, what I have. People don't like it. You know, he says it's all like it's a great thing, but people that are close to me, they don't like the fact that I don't sit down with them or that I don't
care.
pay
girl.
attention for longer than 30 seconds because I got
whatever
this
the fuck
going
you
on.
want.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, like relationships with people that I've been in, like guys, like they.
Well, I'm not exactly the middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like you and I are friends because we're a little different.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. But it's not always a good thing. Like people say to me, "Oh, you get so much done. You're da 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 da," and I go, "Look, it's not."
Look what you're doing.
But it's not. It's a sickness. Let's just get this straight. Yeah. I am compulsive about working, and I don't relax. And there should be more of a balance. Like we went to the beach today. That was good.
I made her go swimming.
That's huge progress.
She only goes swimming in the ocean with me once a year.
I'm so afraid of sharks.
And I showed this makes me out because I could be a shitty person, okay? But I did show her a video of a 10-foot hammerhead coming into the beach that we swam in.
No, that was last year. We went in the water. I was scared to death, but I went in anyway. I only go in with him.
And it was a little
cold. We get out of the water last year, and he says, I hesitate to say this to you at all, but I definitely was going to save it for after we went in the water. But here's a video of a 10-foot hammerhead shark coming through right where we just were.
He was chasing a tarpon. His dorsal fin was like like that long. And he's like,
And he
just
went
takes his target
right
and flips it out of the water. And he's in the shallow
in the shallow water. So for those of you who say there's never going to be, more likely you'll get struck by lightning, okay?
That shark
Not so
would
much.
have never touched another person. I don't know why.
I don't want to take that risk.
Or why? You
Because
know
I'm
what?
afraid.
Here's my deal.
I need my digits.
I'm not afraid of that happening. I've lived a great life. If anything,
A great white?
life. What a great story. Don't be greedy. Do
I got another great story.
What do you want to? You want to die in an old folks' home?
No.
No.
It's too expensive. I'll go broke. I won't even be able to afford it. I'm going to be out there in a box if I get to that.
I don't even have that plan.
Right. That's
Doesn't
not a
matter.
plan for me either. I need to figure that out.
And my pole choices are over.
Yeah,
as far
they
as
are.
pole dancing,
Yeah.
forget it.
No.
I ain't going on another diet, and even if I did, I'm too tired.
No.
So,
Diets are out.
Yeah. So, but we did get in the ocean today. The sun, you know what?
It was cold.
The sun's getting closer to the planet. I can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted you to know that.
That sun was hot. I think we got a sunburn.
We did. My face is burning. But I remember feeling the heat and thinking, I don't remember the sun ever feeling this hot here. It's winter.
I think it was Venus that was broiling on us.
Venus?
Yeah.
Her name was Venus. I'm your Venus.
Right.
I'm your
Venus.
fire. It's your desire.
Right?
Now what are you going to do? Karaoke.
Yeah. We've done a lot of karaoke together.
We did?
I don't sing.
The other
I just
night
do the
we did.
tambourine.
I did the
Dixie Chicken?
I did. You got to do Dixie Chicken. They expect it.
They do. They ask for it.
But then I threw a bone out there. I did the Cars. My best friend's girl.
Yeah. It was great. He's a great karaoke guy.
Damn right.
Very professional.
That $5 will give me $5.
Won't even get you a Starbucks.
I don't like Starbucks. It's acidy.
It's corporate coffee. You really should go to a small, independently owned coffee shop.
We have. Hey, we live on a. This is a 482 island.
That Cuban coffee
you know
we
what?
had the
There
other
is
day.
a Star. I was going to say there's no Starbucks.
There is. I saw one today.
There absolutely is
It's
one.
mint green clapboards on the building.
There's two now, actually.
There's two now. In 4 miles, there's two.
But we have these Cuban bodegas.
Oh my God, that Cuban coffee
That
is
do
great.
Cuban coffee or coffee con leche, and that are, you know.
And the lunch that we had that I swore I couldn't eat all of, that I did.
Yeah, and Cuban bread. It's pretty good.
So good. I've got to go back home and go back on the wagon of yogurt.
I used to make my own yogurt.
Really? So did my mother.
Jeff Black, thank you. You told me how to do it. I can't eat that much yogurt, though.
My mom made yogurt.
Yeah, well, I'm not your mother. Okay?
You don't look like her much. Maybe it's the facial hair.
Well, you know, New England women can be hairy.
And
I met
bossy.
a few. I bought an alpaca once off a woman that had a pretty incredible beard.
Were you wearing that goat shirt that you have hanging over the door?
Pendleton shirt. She calls it the goat
It
shirt.
looks like a goat herder coat.
I got it at Orvis at 75% off for $15.
What? What is
Yeah.
that? Is there anything left?
Can't make it for
You
that.
take 75% off of $15. Is
Sahara,
there anything
where's
left?
the bartender here?
Where's the ice? I think it's dripping on our feet.
What? Anyway, let's see. If you could have sex with any artist.
Oh my God.
No, and it's not cheating. Really? Hoarder. Taking all the ice.
I like the ice.
Yes, so
There's
does.
hardly any room for
Well, guess
vodka
what? So
anymore.
do I.
Maybe Salvador Dali.
He was totally gay.
So what? He was totally weird.
I love that.
I love that.
Actually, sex with him was probably fucking kinky as all get
See?
out.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry I'm using the F word. I'm stopping.
Right.
But however, you know.
That
that's
would
how
have been a wild ride, right?
Salvador Dali. I think his wife.
Driving up in a lobster car
All I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure his wife
full
would
of
be
ping pong
involved.
balls.
Did that happen?
Oh yeah, I'm all over on now.
I don't
You
know.
don't want a part of that?
I don't know.
And that
his story.
mustache?
I don't know his backstory.
Who cares about his backstory?
Well, I'm just saying.
We're just having sex. We're not getting married.
You know, you're on the wrong page. Did he really have ping pong balls involved in?
Oh, yes.
That really happened?
Yeah, he came to things with the lobster car, and he'd get out and all these ping pong balls. He was about the shock value and the showmanship and the.
He was like Madonna before Madonna
Yeah,
was Madonna.
he was supposed to be weird. He wanted to come out and be the eccentric artist, and so he did things on purpose to.
I can't offer this to you. Sorry.
I'm good with my newly designed horrible Van Gogh vodka and its terrible logo.
The vodka's good though.
They should have left it alone. Used to have Van Gogh's artwork on all the flavors of the bottles.
Oh, I'm going to be posting a picture of her holding the bottle that she really wanted.
There's
and pieces of her work, so you see it.
Yeah.
And we'll have links and all this stuff.
Yeah, the plain vodka is
But
still
we're
the
actually-
old logo,
we're
but
at an
I
hour and
wanted
10
the flavor.
minutes.
Too much time. No one's watching anymore. They're all gone.
Actually, they've gone to an hour and a half, pretty much.
Really?
Yes.
He's got a big draw. He's so funny on the videos. You have a big draw. This is gonna
nerve?
This is gonna make us famous.
She's got like 4 gazillion people following her.
I have been to House of Blues at a concert and had people come running up to him going, Sean, I know you're from Facebook, Sean Callahan.
Right, that makes me sound like a 12-year-old girl.
Well, okay, so the voice wasn't that high. It was like, Sean, we know you're from Facebook, Sean Callahan.
And they were hot
Is that
daddies
better?
with beards, right?
That's better. He doesn't want to sound
porn
like
stars.
girls. Yeah, no.
Damn right.
Yeah, big, muscular, young, male porn stars.
No, they were 12-year-old girls.
They came
in
up and
Catholic
fully
school
embraced
uniforms.
him. And they were like, we love your videos. Catholic uniforms.
I tore a girl's Catholic uniform in 8th grade on our graduating class day. We all decided we were going to tear our uniforms up. And her name was Kelleher.
Her first name?
No. I'm trying to remember. You're on my Facebook too, and I can't remember your name. I'm sorry. I'm really drunk.
God.
But I tore your dress, and Miss Sullivan had a fit.
A fit.
My parents had to come over. It was a big deal. And we had already just planned it. It wasn't nothing dirty or bad. Like 3 kids did it. We were all supposed to do it. I'm such a fool.
The other one's chickened
Don't
out.
ever
at the last
believe
minute.
anyone that says, come on, we're all going to do this.
We're all doing this together.
You know, when they say, come on, we're all doing this right now.
Yeah.
Don't ever be the first one.
No, you're left with your pants down.
And that sounds cowardly, but guess what?
Yeah.
Keeps you out of trouble.
Keeps you out of trouble. And you need to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I do now.
You do now.
Shit.
Yeah.
I've been busted a few times. Grade school.
Grade school. So people know him. They recognize him from the videos in public places. Dark places.
From
like
Gen
House
Pop.
of Blues, going to see a concert and it's
And
dark.
Gen Pop.
What's Gen Pop?
General population.
Oh. What?
I love prison shows.
I don't even watch TV.
I've never
what are
been
we
to
talking
prison.
about?
All
We're
right,
back
just
on
for
The
the record, I've
Handmaiden?
never been to prison, but I did watch Prison Break for a while. I loved that show, Oz.
The Chihuahuas?
No, it was called Oz, O-Z.
Oh, the show.
That was the
Oz.
name of the
I thought you
prison.
said I love Chihuahuas.
I kind of like them.
I like them, and I have Chihuahua socks.
I love your socks.
Socks are good. They're pink.
I love Rowan Inish,
Who's that?
my dog.
Oh, Inish?
Rowan
Inish?
Inish.
That's his middle name?
Don't you think he deserves it?
Of course. Wow, I didn't know. Did you tell him about your run-in with the dog groomer today?
Really? Will you go there? I yelled at my dog groomer today. I was right.
I stayed in the car. I knew it was coming. I was like,
And actually,
I'm going to be here checking my social media.
I did him a favor. I was a friend to him.
Mm-hmm. No, you were.
And I still am.
Yep. But the dog with a middle name.
Rowan Inish. Inish is his last name.
I thought Callahan was his last name.
I didn't give birth to him.
What?
That dog.
My dog's tag says Sam St. Hilaire. It hardly fits. There's too many letters. And they didn't stack it. They just smushed it on the little bone.
You met that dog.
It's a mouthful.
You met the dog. He's got his own name.
He's got his own name. His own family name, which
Right.
means he has his own coat of arms and his own kilt. Separate.
You want me to go there?
His own plaid.
That dog is a king of all kings.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Yes, he is. This
of
morning,
Druid heritage.
this morning, he needed to be fed at 7 a.m. while we were both still asleep, and I could hear him
I wonder why.
whining.
Drinking wine. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So Sean gets up, gets the food, puts it in the bowl, goes back to bed, and the dog eats.
Well, why shouldn't he eat in the
It
morning?
was so early. Like, he couldn't have waited until 9.
No.
Inish?
Yes.
Rowan Inish.
It's true. I've spoiled the shit out of this dog.
He's a good boy, though.
But here's the deal. It's just him and I. I don't want to entertain people. I don't entertain people. I'm usually on my own.
He's entertaining me.
Yeah, but it's like being with me. It's like being with myself. So, I mean, that doesn't, like, change anything for me.
You know, Saturday Night Live did a skit called Me Harmony. So they had the guy, and then he dressed up as a woman, and they were interviewing to date themselves. MeHarmony.com. It was pretty funny.
I heard a story about a guy. It happened long enough ago that I can say it. A guy that worked with one of my sisters was on like eHarmony or Match or whatever. This was a long time ago. And he got matched up. You got matched up after you wrote everything out with your perfect mate that was on this site. And it turned out to be his sister.
Oh.
She was on it too. So she got his picture and he got hers.
Gross. That's gross.
Well, I mean, yeah, creepy.
Creepy. That's creepy.
I know.
Totally creepy.
I know. So what else do we talk about? Come on.
Bring
Bring it in. Anything. Throw it out.
Baking.
Oh my God. She makes the best cookies on planet Earth.
Here's some.
Well, I've eaten all.
They have bites out of them, I think, both of them. Have you bit both of these?
They're like chocolate mint. No, they crumble because they're delicious.
They are good. I like baking. It's creativity in the kitchen.
Way better than Vienna.
Fingers.
Thank you, Vienna.
Oh, Vienna, yeah.
With your famous baking products.
Right.
These are better.
Well, I've been baking since I was a kid. My grandmother baked, my mom baked, and
She sends me ginger cookies because she knows I love them.
at Christmas
They're
time.
molasses, though. I call them ginger cookies.
They have ginger in them, ginger and
Yeah.
molasses.
Remember ginger snaps when you were a kid? They only came out in the fall and they were in a black and orange cardboard box.
Really?
Did you not remember that?
No, I remember them being in like a paper bag, kind of a bag.
Well, it might have been a local company where I grew up.
Might have been.
In New Jersey. It came in a black and orange cardboard box and it was filled with ginger snaps. And my mom always bought them in the fall and I hated them.
Why?
They were hard as a rock.
Oh yeah, they were hard.
And,
You had to dip them in coffee.
And I didn't dig. Well, I was 3.
And you weren't drinking coffee. so-
Yeah, I was kind of off the coffee at 4.
You could have dipped them in milk. A little Dunkin' in milk.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, you did. Well, that's how you first fall in love with a ginger snap, is you got to have cold milk.
Ah.
Yeah, and then you realize the artisanal value of a good ginger cookie.
Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah, so I like baking.
I learned like your molasses cookie recipe. I think I used to have it.
I can give it back to you.
I need it. I don't need it. We can't talk about it.
Sean's a great cook. He's been making these crock pot dinners with lots of good stuff in it. So we've been working all day and we get home and the dinner's
Big Mama's kitchen.
cooking. And the dog is like, yee, I've been smelling this for 6 hours.
Well, you know, because you work all damn day.
It's
You're
good.
tired.
You're tired.
You just throw some shit in a pot and turn it on low and you get home and it's done.
Last night we had Chinese. Last night we just
I
stirred
couldn't
the
do
shit
it.
in the Chinese
it
pot.
was it was
called
night
them up.
3. Yeah, it was night 3.
And then they came in like 2 minutes.
And tonight we went to this you'll find shocking.
Shocking.
But Here during, well, it's even after, well, 4 to 6 down at the docks, you could get half-price shrimp and cocktails.
Antonio's? What's it called?
Alonzo's.
Antonio's
is an excellent restaurant.
Chachi.
Him and his shorty shorts.
Shorty shorts. Riding his Vespa.
Wearing his OPs.
Really shorty shorts. Chachi.
Yeah, remember wearing OPs?
Yeah. Remember OPs?
Girls did wear OPs. You know what I was talking about.
I remember them.
Their logo was an O and a P.
And they were shorty shorts.
And they were made of corduroy.
And Sean Callahan had 6 pairs.
I did. Actually, I worked at a restaurant in Beach Haven called The Boathouse.
And the OP shorts were a part of the standard uniform. Shorty shorts.
Well, way to jump into my story, Miss St. Hilaire. Really?
Okay, quiet.
No, not now. Oh, these are fresh.
Oh. Who refilled my cup?
Remember you had said, give me some more ice? And then you're like, give me more ice, and I filled it up.
Oh, look at that. We drunk half the bottle now.
We actually totally shouldn't be drinking
drunk half
this.
the bottle now.
We're drinking vodka like it's a spritzer.
Kool-Aid. Little spritzer.
What's tomorrow? Tuesday.
I don't know.
Do a damn thing.
We covered the fact that I don't know what day tomorrow is.
Tuesday.
I'm going home tomorrow.
Not me.
You are home.
I guess. I don't know where my home is anymore. I live here.
Yeah.
And it's a great place.
Right. And a great space. A great gallery space.
Oh, God. Yeah. This is it.
Well, it's 1 hour and 21 minutes. Is it time for bed?
It's called control.
Is it time for bed?
I think it's my decision whether or not we're done.
Shall we eat cookies in bed?
I already ate all those cookies. That's all that's left. And that's my damn computer.
Something going wacky with that computer. It's getting the charge sound. On, off, on, off.
AT&T.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
That's Chachi. That was Chachi, right? Ralph Macchio was Chachi. Wax on, wax off. Mr. Miyagi.
He was in The Outsiders.
Was he wearing shorty shorts in that?
Do you remember The Outsiders?
I certainly do. Diane Lane was in The Outsiders.
Pony.
Matt Dillon, he was Pony Boy.
No, that guy was Pony Boy.
He was Pony Boy. C. Thomas Howell, all those guys. I read the book.
They were trouble.
I read the book. They were trouble.
I like trouble.
I like trouble too. That's why I saw the movie 100 times.
But I'm 53 and I don't need no more trouble.
Yes,
you can look like trouble, but I don't need it.
Yeah, but he likes it.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Stay away, because I am a weak
right.
human being.
Stay away because he can't control himself.
Well, you got a good thing going, so
right.
It's easy for you to say.
I think it's good that you like trouble. Sense of adventure, you know, and all. And you're not that old. You still got another adventure or two in you. But you're past this border point, though.
53.
You're over here in the I'm not changing in my ways part over here.
Yeah.
And you're 53. Yeah. So, you know, mix it up a little bit. Do something crazy.
Like what?
I don't know.
What are you saying? Like I should go be like slutty?
No.
Well, what do you mean?
Oh, maybe.
I'm reaching for a chair that isn't there.
No chair there. Maybe you should take a big trip.
Yeah, okay. So anybody want to sponsor that?
Yes, we should start a GoFundMe campaign.
No. Anyone who does that is a dick. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Unless you're dying.
That came right out like a shot.
Unless you're dying.
You didn't even deliberate over that.
That's how I feel about these GoFundMe things.
Apparently so.
Yeah. You know what?
Why?
No.
Okay. How about this?
No, I agree with it if you're trying to discover a disease or trying to discover how to kill one. I'm fine with that. But, just sponsoring somebody's trip to Ireland to have fun? No.
How about this? not a GoFundMe, but you paint a bunch of small watercolors and you sell them in advance, and you put that money towards your trip. And you tell people, I'm charging, you pay me in advance, and I'm asking you for a little bit more than retail value because I'm putting it all towards this trip that's gonna expand my artistic horizons. What about that? It's a little bit of fund me, a little bit of you get something out of it. You're not asking them to just give the money. They're getting something out of it. A hand-painted postcard?
No.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. No.
You're gonna get a sugar daddy to sponsor you?
No, I've done residencies in Ireland, 2 of them.
Several times. Didn't you do 3 times?
No, twice there. I did the Vermont Studio Center. And so I've done residencies, but I applied for them and I won them.
I want to do that.
And I'm not doing that shit for fucking residency. And to all you people, I'm sorry about my curse word. It's only one word, and it's a word I should know, but that's my... we can't talk about it.
No.
But you're not really going to the bathroom, are you? Did you say that?
No, I said nothing about the restroom.
Never did?
No.
Told you. So, let's talk about... Did you ever have a boyfriend in art school that was an artist too? Like you were both intense?
No. I dated a German in art school.
A German?
Literally from Germany. Yeah.
Okay, I have a funny story.
Literally from Germany.
I'm doing a show in April. And part of the paintings I'm painting on World War II letters.
Oh, yeah.
Old World War II letters. And I'm picking out old letters with the handwriting that looks the best, that's most interesting. And I'm not reading them. I'm just like picking a section and putting a diver. I'm looking like aesthetically.
Aesthetically. It looks good.
Yes. So I finish one and I just start reading the...
Oh boy.
And it's nice. It's very nice. And
then it gets nasty.
And then she goes, and neighbor Smith sold their home to Germans. You know the kind.
Ooh.
And she goes off. And then I started painting, so I don't get to know the kind.
Right.
And then it just blurs off into a diving body. And I'm like, what kind of Germans?
What kind of Germans?
And then I'm thinking, maybe I need to read this shit before I start painting on it. Like, that's, you know what? Not going to get political.
Well, I use a lot
Aren't we there already?
I use a lot of printed material in my work, and sometimes I'm just ripping it up and I'm just looking at it for the type size, the font size, you know? And then you get it all glued down and the whole thing's done. And then you look at it and you go, oh dear Lord.
That says vagina.
Oh, okay, so I have a funny story for you.
Go ahead.
So I had a friend who had a book of dirty limericks that he picked up at like a yard sale or something, and they were filthy limericks. Like they were horrible. We won't repeat them.
No.
But they were rotten dirty.
Do you have one that's like racy but not dirty?
I don't even have them committed to memory, but they were bad.
There once was a girl from...
They were all bad.
Letterkenny.
Right. They were bad. So he gave
I don't really know that. I'm just making it up.
Well, so he gave me the book and said, do you think you could work these into collage? And I thought, well, maybe if I have someone with a real sense of humor, I could, whatever. So it made its way into my hoarder stash somehow. And then somehow it made its way into my bins of paper, which somehow made their way into a class. So I share paper with this class, and this woman comes up with this little chunk of like one limerick. And she goes, I especially like this paper that you brought. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I knew her. And so it was really lucky that she was the one that found it,
Talk to me over there.
So I call the guy that gave it to me on my way home. And I go, do you remember that filthy, rotten book that you gave me? It somehow just made its way into a workshop in downtown Orlando. He says, Elizabeth, I gave you that book 10 years ago. And I was like, I don't know how. It just got here now. But yeah, it was bad. And so luckily it was a student, someone that I knew, but it was very racy. So be careful what you incorporate into your art that you don't read, that you keep for 10 years and bring to a class. Well, here you go, class. Here's some paper to put in your collage. And then you're like, oh boy.
I had to give props out to my friend Bree, who gave me, these letters are from like World War II. And the first one was a love letter.
Aww.
I just, because I am who I am, I just assumed they were all love letters, and I'm fading away.
Not so much.
And then it's just like, these Germans, you know the
Germans,
kind.
you know the kind.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So there is a painting in the show coming up that's pretty, well, weird. Anyway.
Weird. Yeah, so I dated a German, and he was an economics major.
Did he speak German?
Yes, he was from Germany. His dad came to the United States to work for Mercedes, and he went to a couple of years of high school in the U.S. and then 2 years of college, and then they went back. His dad was on a 5-year visa, so they.
So he was only here for 2 years.
He was here for 5 years total, 2 years of college.
What was his first name?
Stefan. Stefan.
Don't you want to just say that name like?
Stefan.
Oh, you are. Oh.
Yeah.
I need another napkin. Don't be so stingy with the goddamn napkins. Look at this beer.
So he was an economics major.
This is prison napkin wear.
I've never dated a guy that was like a true
It's like
artist.
prison paper. You know?
Have
you
you
know the
been in
stuff
prison?
you get it like
Jail.
in rest areas.
It's jail paper.
It's not picking anything up.
I don't know about prison, but
All I know is I like bologna sandwiches, and every damn jail movie I've ever seen I thought was kind of interesting, but I really don't want to go. Let's move on.
okay.
So, you also have books.
I have books.
This is what I just don't understand. It's
I don't
like,
watch TV.
Is that it? That's it.
I save 3 to 4 hours a day and not
I
watching
know,
TV,
I
and then I just
know.
do stuff.
And if I just stop doing that,
Well, you watch a lot of the politics news.
I do. Because now, you know why. Don't get me... Wow, that was...
Yeah, don't
that
go
was
on
like
that.
blood in the water.
Sorry.
You know?
And now we're back to sharks. Well, my son is going to school for political science. It's actually
Love him. Because
public
he's
government
smart,
and public
possible
policy.
future president.
So he tells me,
And if this interview at all harms his future presidential thing,
I hope not.
then we're going the wrong way.
Right. Well, he says to me, Mom,
It's
you
just like Harry
really
Potter.
need to pay more attention to what's going on in the media, in the news. And I said, well, why? And he said, because you need to be able to have a conversation with people about what's, going on. And I said, well, all the people I have conversations with are artists, and so we just talk about art, and we're in an art bubble, and we don't talk about other things.
Reel it in.
Then I come down here, and he busts my art bubble.
How?
With the CNN news, and then you want to talk about...
Oh, yeah. Well...
Then he has that, and I'm like, you are not helping my argument
No,
of
I'm
the
going to
art
save
bubble.
her ass because she's going to be
bubble.
playing with charcoal and paint and shit. And I'm going to be like,
When the
Elizabeth,
apocalypse is
I'm in
happening."
the Jeep. I got my shit. I'm headed your way. I'm picking you up.
Yep.
And we're going to Kansas.
Or Canada.
Okay, Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cold. Canada!
Oh, not in the summer. It's hot in the summer. I don't even know when the hurricanes are
I
coming.
lived in
Somebody has to
Vermont.
call me and say, hey, are you batting down the hatches? I go,
I
why?
lived in Vermont for 17 years.
Because we're having a hurricane.
I know what
headed
cold
towards-
is, girl. You
Don't
have
you
no
pay attention?
idea.
No.
I lived in a house without heat one winter.
Why?
We didn't have any money to fix the heater. It's called poverty. Lived on in a
The storage unit?
no, and that's not funny.
Oh.
Never mind. All right.
Connor has a friend who's living in a storage unit in Miami.
Wood stove is the word I was looking for.
Oh, a potbelly stove.
Yeah, we had.
Not to be
we had
confused with a potbelly pig.
We had a wood stove in our kitchen.
And a pig?
No, the kitchen was here, and it was supposed to be the dining room. Was this room? We made it our living room. It was 2,700 square feet.
Wow.
It was built in the Civil War era.
Wow.
There was a cemetery behind our property. It was 50 acres. Cemetery, no one had been buried there since the Civil War.
That's a big house.
Ugh, it was incredible. Let's all take a break. Like,
It's a lot of work.
everybody just let everything just do, yeah.
We're doing the rag doll.
Yeah. And did you know that there was a dance in Batman called,
Batman?
Frank, my friend Frank.
The one in
my
the
friend-
80s with Jack Nicholson as the Joker?
Maybe. No. The real Batman show, the Batuzzi. Batman in the show on television, he does a dance. There's like a song and a video and everything.
And the Batuzzi?
And the dance, like
the Pulp Fiction
yeah,
dance?
yeah.
Ah.
It came from
Batman.
Batman. Yeah, Uma Thurman is dancing to a Batman episode.
Interesting.
Frank Lucas, you get 5 points.
Frank Lucas, you get 6 points.
I said 5.
I like Frank. I say give him 6.
You now get 7.
You get 8.
Hey.
You
10.
get 10 points, Frank Lucas.
That's it
That's the ceiling
for now.
for now.
Because he taught me about the Batuzzi
Ah.
being from this special episode. And I slept with someone that wrote an episode of Batman.
Wow. Really?
Actually,
It's
yeah.
his claim to fame.
I was his boyfriend for a short period of time.
This is what you need to have your experience get back to. Go out and have an adventure like that. Go find Batman. And
Those adventures
have sex
find
with
you,
him.
girl. You don't go looking for them.
Right. They don't find
on.
you, though, if you're a hermit crab. You got to go out sometimes, once in a while.
I'm an old time man.
I get
And I
that.
got like, what do you want me to do?
Well, we went out the other night. It
You
was
got a
good.
fucking hot air balloon? Let's go. I'm ready.
Where are we going?
I don't care. Get a hot air balloon.
Oz?
There is no where to.
I don't want to travel by hot air balloon.
I don't like them actually. I would be claustrophobic.
They're very susceptible to
and
the
don't
winds.
they take
and-
like 8 people? I'd be like, no, I want 2 people, and one of them is me.
Well, you could get a small.
And the other one
basket.
is you, because you know how to fucking drive it.
Who, me?
No, the balloon guy. Fuck
Frank?
everyone else. Get me in the fucking balloon and let's go.
The censoring that's going to have to go on in this. The bleep,
There
bleep,
is no
bleep,
censoring,
bleep.
girl. All right, just so you know, my cursing has nothing to do with my friend Elizabeth St. Hilaire.
Right.
God. All right. Forward. Where was I?
Talking about hot air balloons and sleeping with
Mm.
guys from Batman.
So, the day I left New Mexico was in October. And
Was it cold?
It was hot air balloon. They have this hot air balloon festival where like a gazillion of them go up in the air at the same time.
Have you ever been in a hot air balloon?
No, and I never will be.
I have.
Well, I don't really want to know about it because I think it's awful. And but this is interesting. The day I left New Mexico to come
It's
here,
very quiet.
you're not listening.
Go on, I'm listening. The day you left New Mexico to come here. I'm all ears now.
Now,
Yes, New Mexico to come here in October. No hot air balloons, but the festival.
I left a day early.
Why? You didn't want to see the balloons?
No, it was that day.
Oh.
So as I drove away, there was a gazillion balloons. I thought I was coming back. I never did.
Oh.
I never left.
Well, that's okay, because look where you are now. You're here.
With little Debbie.
With little Debbie. Snack cakes.
This is my PayPal.
This little Debbie snack cakes lunchbox holds Sean's
It's my
2
palette. Like, this
watercolors.
is my core color. Don't show that.
He had to lock this up in this little Debbie snack cake lunchbox
'Cause it's
because
safe.
something was eating his paint
It's safe
at
in
night.
there.
While
No
he
one's
was at
gonna look
home.
in your little Debbie.
Something was. It's a rat or a mouse.
Who looks into your little Debbie?
Something is eating his blue watercolor. So now it's locked in the box.
I do think there's a monster here.
I think so.
That eats paint.
Something is eating paint. That's kind of creepy. What comes in here and eats paint and then leaves? Whatever it is, it's unscrewing the lids.
No, it was my watercolor palette. It ate my indigo. All right, so first
in the flat box?
This is so not fair. Okay.
What?
Because.
What?
I wasn't going to talk about this.
Because it makes you sound crazy?
No, it's just weird. So I'm looking at my palette, and I use indigo a lot. I don't use black paint, blah, blah, blah. So
blah, blah, blah.
I run out of indigo pretty quickly. Well, this one day it was just fucking gone. And then, so I thought that was odd because usually when something's completely, like I never let it go that far, this was gone. So I filled it back up and I was just like, whatever. And the next was the cadmium yellow. Went from almost like 75% gone.
Cool, and warm colors.
Well, yeah, went from 75. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. But yeah, I was like, all of a sudden it was almost empty. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I say, come back, it's empty. So I filled that. So anyway, something's eating my paint. So I started rubber banding it and it stopped happening.
Rubber Band Man?
Who is the guy that works on MSNBC?
Rev.
The Rev.
Reverend Al Sharpton. He looks like a rubber band man now. He's really stretchy and very skinny.
Who had love with
I was like, wait a minute. I know that guy, and he used to be a lot bigger. And now he's just all stretchy.
She's like, is that the Reverend Shaw? I'm like, yeah, it's a rubber band man.
What the heck? You stopped watching TV for 10 years and everybody looks different.
Yeah, the other guy, too, the weather guy on ABC or
What's
whatever.
What's that guy's name?
No, they're totally two different people that
What's his name?
lost a lot of weight.
What's his name, the weather guy?
I don't know, but he looks like he's made of rubber too.
He does. What's his name?
I mean, that's really mean, and that's just mean. Sorry.
Okay, but what's his name, the weather guy? Now it's gonna bug me.
Try not to say.
Okay, I'm thinking. So they open up the rubber band, these things that eat paint, or this thing that eats paint. It gets into the palette and it eats the paint and it leaves.
That story's over.
Well, that was why we're talking about rubber bands.
And that's what brought us to the
Rubber
Rev.
Band Man. What's that weather guy's name? That's bugging me.
She goes, oh my
now.
God. She doesn't watch television. She goes, oh my God, this guy's lost so much weight. And he said, that's the Rev.
I don't watch
And she goes, Reverend Shaw. Like, yeah. And then we call it the Rubber Band Man.
I knew he was thin though because Connor put on this Netflix series about the 90s. It was like they have a series about different decades, and we watched. He wanted to watch the 90s because he was born in the 90s.
His hair was fierce.
And they showed him with his hair and the way that he used to look, and then he was interviewing presently to talk about that. And I was like, oh my goodness.
It was like
fire. Wasn't it like fire? It was up and gray and like fire.
No, that's the wrestling guy.
No.
Yeah. No, the
Hulk
Rev at one time had like this like bizarre hair. His
the wrestling guy.
God love him.
This is a wrestling move. The Hulk Hogan.
Parallel lunge.
Woo! Parallel lunge. Yeah, that's the wrestling guy. You know how I know wrestling guys?
I've never even heard of wrestling guy.
Wrestling guys. My brother, who has Down syndrome, loves wrestling. And he goes through all the moves and knows all the names of all the wrestlers. And after you hear that for 50,000 times, you take it in by osmosis. Yeah. So this is Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan, I mean, he likes old...
He comes here.
He likes old school wrestling, my brother. He likes all the old guys. And then he does this. Chris can go through the whole thing.
He comes here for Fantasy Fest a lot.
He does?
Yeah.
I want to meet him. Will you get his autograph for me?
Girl, I already got you an interview. Please.
Too much to ask.
Actually, I don't know anything about it.
You don't? No. What is that sound?
I know, this is just terrible.
I think what's eating
I want
the paint...
somebody, like, listen, best scenario, people enjoy this, and we start doing more, and then there's a real cello player over there.
Wow. Only like when it would be
right
an
now,
intense cello.
It's this computer, or that's my cash register that keeps blinking in and out of the internet.
And making the noise.
Driving us nuts. Wouldn't you rather hear a cello?
Unless it was that angry cello that was in The Handmaiden.
I want to talk to you about your...
Remember that?
Well, sometimes
it was intense.
It was intense, but sometimes.
Yeah, it was no Yo-Yo Ma. It was somebody mad.
I like Yo-Yo Ma.
I do too.
Although I liked old Yo-Yo Ma, I'm not sure what's going on with him now.
He's getting kind of commercial now because he came to Orlando and performed, and the tickets were $100 and up. That's a lot.
You play the violin.
I do.
This is about you, not Yo-Yo Ma. That's why I had to stop you. So, I don't know you as a violinist, but I mean, I know people that play the violin, but if you have played the violin in an orchestra, you must be pretty damn good.
I'm okay.
No, that would mean that you were pretty good.
Well, it was a community orchestra, but it was a big group. I mean, we filled the stage. We had 26 violins, and we had a harp and a full brass section. It was a symphony. It was a symphony.
Did you study violin when you were young?
I started playing violin when I was in the 3rd grade. I wanted to play cello, actually. Speaking of Yo-Yo Ma, I wanted to play cello. The cello
was
the
just
cello
art.
It's what I wanted to do.
I love the cello.
And I don't know if it was the practical part of me or it was the practical part of my mother, but I took the bus, and I think we talked about the fact that it would be kind of difficult to get the cello on the bus, and so I opted for the violin because it was smaller and more manageable. But it was public school. They taught us in public school, and they presented it to us in our classroom and asked if anyone wanted to take stringed instrument lessons after they presented it. And I went home and I wanted to play cello, and I ended up playing violin, and I played it from the 3rd grade until I graduated high school. And then I didn't take it to college. And then after I had my kids, I had my daughter when I was 30, and it was probably about 35 or 7. I took up private lessons in Orlando because I felt as though I had such a long commitment to the violin that it would be nice to pick it up again. So I took private lessons for 5 or 6 years, and then I played with the community symphony. And I really enjoyed playing with the symphony. It was great because playing a musical instrument is very actually mathematical. You have to count the rhythm and subdivide the time signature and the measures, and it was a lot of mathematical, and it was...
Can I just ask a question about...
Yeah.
Being able to be a musician at that level and to be a painter at another level, both recognized levels.
Right.
Do they bleed? Or do they fight with each other?
They're very different because music is very mathematical and it's very precise. The violin, if you don't have your finger in exactly the right spot, you're out of tune. And there's no markings on the fingerboard of the violin.
Know it.
So you got to know it. You got to feel it. You got to know it. There's nothing that tells you this is where you put your finger. You just have to know it. And then there's key signatures and flats and sharps and accidentals and all that. And so it's a lot of thinking. So it's very different. It's very different than painting. And I paint in an impressionistic manner, so I have simple shapes, and I interpret what I see to what I want it to be. And music is not like that. Music is very different, very left brain. But I thought that it would be good for me to do that, to sort of expand my stuff.
I'm gonna reference an artist and musician who I love, who actually balances it. Like it's not balanced. It's woven together. Is Joni Mitchell? She is a painter and she's a musician.
A musician.
And she did. There's an album that she put out called Miles of Isles, and she says nobody asked Van Gogh to do another Starry Night, man.
That's kind of interesting because I saw an interview with the guy that did Where the Wild Things Are. What's his name? Maurice Sendak. I saw an interview with him, and they said to him, with the wild popularity, the great popularity of Where the Wild Things Are, why would you not do a Where the Wild Things Are 2?
Yeah, I mean,
and
you think this magical moment, there doesn't have to be a part 2.
You know what he says? I am not an art whore. I'm not doing a second version of this just because it was popular. I'm not capitalizing on the fact that that was successful.
No.
And he says, I'm not an art whore and I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, in the background of this interview is a multi-million-dollar home with stickly furniture and craftsman style and nice rugs. And, you know, he doesn't have to be an art whore because he's living in a multi-million-dollar home. He's not paying bills like you and me, painting damn dogs we don't want to paint, or pictures of people's spouses on tractors.
I love painting dogs.
Well, we love painting that stuff, but he can say he doesn't want to do what he does. He can say he doesn't want to do anything because he's in a cushy situation.
Are you getting all political in this interview?
No, I'm just saying he's
We're
in a
almost
cushy
at 2
situation.
hours. I've never gone past 2 hours.
Oh
You
my
have 10
God.
minutes.
Ooh, it's hot in here.
I've only done an hour and a half.
It's hot in here.
But I totally understand that this is going longer. Because we're only scratching the surface of a friendship that I love and cherish.
Where's the toilet paper doll?
Huh?
The toilet paper doll that I sent you. I don't see it on the back of the toilet over the loo roll.
Girl, you told me not to be a hoarder.
I sent him a toilet
She
paper doll.
sent me a knit. It was like a Barbie doll head body with a crocheted skirt that you put your toilet paper roll in.
Yeah, and you put it on the back of the toilet. You remember the toilet paper dolls?
I can't. No, I just can't.
A Barbie with a crocheted skirt that goes over the toilet paper roll.
That ain't me.
Oh my God, I had to find it on eBay. An old one.
Well, you shouldn't have done it.
And then he throws it out.
Like, what the... Like, no.
It's because we talked about it and I thought it was funny.
We never talk about Barbie.
We did. We had a whole conversation about the toilet paper doll.
Yes, we have met people and known people throughout our life that had them. We talked about, like, have you ever met someone who, like, their grandmother or their aunt made those things for toilet paper? Well, she went online, found one, and mailed it to me. I'm not keeping that. I'm not keeping that. That's got some, like, bad fucking dough all over it. So I'm wrapping this whole thing up right now because we're at 2 hours. However,
if you made it to the end of this, you get a gold star.
I usually say pony, and some people really want one.
A pony.
Not in a dirty way. Dirty you.
Ooh.
Girls.
Right.
All right, so
Salvador Dali
Elizabeth St. Hilaire, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite artists. That is her work right there. Look at her. Look at her work. She's going places and she's doing things that we haven't figured out yet, which is fun. Okay? And I'm Sean Callahan, and I can't wait to do another High Artworks at highartworks.com, where they get to pick their drug
Of choice.
of choice.
Unless you go to Publix and they choose for you.
Political to the very bitter end. And that's how I like them, you know? I'll talk to you later, peeps.
Bye.
Bye.